Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Irfan and I am from Sudan. Today I am here to talk Maya on the topic of sorry and sorry.
Hey, what's new?
Hello Maya, and here are 100 questions on the topic of sorry not sorry. Let's start.
I'm ready when you are. What's the topic for this round?
What does sorry not sorry mean to you?
Oh, that's a spicy one. To me, it feels like the ultimate. I know I did something that technically deserves an apology, but I don't actually regret it. It's like a polite way of being completely unapologetic. Do you think it's a confident way to stand your ground, or is it just a bit rude?
Have you ever said sorry not sorry?
Honestly, probably in my head a lot more than out loud. Usually when I've given a direct opinion that people didn't love, but I know I'm right about it. I might feel a flicker of sorry for the tension, but not sorry for the truth. Do you find yourself using it when you're feeling particularly bold?
When is it okay not to apologize?
Um, I think it's okay when you're protecting a boundary or sticking to a truth that's necessary, even if it's uncomfortable. If apologizing would mean lying about your values or pretending you're okay with something that actually hurts you, then a sorry doesn't really serve any purpose. It just becomes a performance. Do you feel like people pressure you to apologize even when you haven't actually done anything wrong?
Do you apologize too often?
I try not to. I think there's a big difference between being kind and being apologetic. If I'm just sorry for existing or taking up space in a conversation, that doesn't actually help anyone. I'd rather be clear and honest than just say sorry to keep the peace. Do you feel like you have a habit of apologizing just to make other people feel more comfortable?
Okay, my next question is what's something you're not sorry for?
I'm not sorry for having a bit of a sharp tongue when it comes to a bad movie. I can be pretty opinionated about storytelling, and I've never felt the need to apologize for calling out a plot hole the size of a canyon. What about you? What's one thing you'll never apologize for?
Okay, my next question have you ever refused to apologize?
I have. Mostly when I feel like the other person is just trying to win the argument rather than actually resolve the problem. In those cases, apologizing just to end the fight feels like rewarding a behavior that makes things worse in the long run. I've found that standing my ground, politely, of course, usually leads to a more honest conversation eventually. Do you find it hard to hold your ground when someone is pushing you to say sorry?
Is saying sorry always the right thing?
I don't think so. If you apologize for something you don't actually feel sorry for, it's not really an apology, it's just a script. It can actually be kind of dishonest and it doesn't actually fix the underlying issue. Sometimes the right thing is to be honest about why you're not sorry, even if that feels a bit more tense in the moment. Do you think a fake apology is better than no apology at all?
Okay, my next question is saying sorry always the right thing?
Actually, we just touched on this, and I'll stick to my guns. No. A forced apology can feel empty or even manipulative. If you don't mean it, you're just smoothing over the surface without actually fixing the problem. Do you think honesty is more important than just keeping things peaceful?
Okay, my next question can an apology repair every mistake?
I don't think so. An apology can fix the hurt feelings, but it doesn't always fix the actual mistake. If someone accidentally breaks your favorite mug and says sorry, they've addressed the emotion, but the mug is still in 100 pieces. Some things just need a solution or a change in behavior, not just a word. Do you think an apology is enough if the person keeps making the same mistake over and over?
What's the hardest apologize you ever made?
Probably when I had to admit that I'd completely misinterpreted someone's intentions. It's a lot harder to apologize for being wrong about a person than it is to apologize for a simple mistake. Admitting that your perspective was skewed and that you might have been unfair in your judgment takes a lot more humility. Do you find it harder to apologize for something you did or for something you thought?
Okay, have you accepted an apology you didn't believe?
I have, usually to avoid a massive, unnecessary blowup. Sometimes you realize that the person isn't actually capable of a sincere apology, and fighting them for one is just a waste of energy. In those moments, I'll say, I accept it just to close the chapter and move on, even if I know they don't actually mean it. Do you think it's better to fake the acceptance for the sake of peace, or be honest and tell them you don't believe them?
Is honesty more important than politeness?
In a heartbeat. Politeness is great for the surface, but honesty is what actually builds a real connection. If you're just being polite while hiding the truth, you're not really relating to the other person, you're just managing them. I'd much rather have a messy, honest conversation than a perfectly polished one that's based on a lie. Do you feel like you have to be polite even when it means compromising the truth?
Okay, my next question. Can confidence sorry, words are decisions you are proud of despite criticism?
Mm, I'm really proud of the. Wait, you cut me off. I was just getting to the good part. I'm proud of the times I've stood my ground on a tough opinion, even when it wasn't the popular one. There's something really satisfying about staying true to your own perspective. What about you? What's a decision you've made that you're genuinely proud of?
Okay, my next question. Have you ever stood up for yourself without regret?
I have. It's not always easy, especially when the other person is louder, more aggressive, but it's almost always worth it. There's a specific kind of quiet. Everything okay on your end?
Okay, my next question is what's a popular opinion you agree with?
The best stories are the ones that make you feel something, even if it's something uncomfortable. Um, I'm a sucker for a story that doesn't play it safe and actually digs into what it means to be human. Do you usually go for the popular opinions or do you prefer the ones that go against the grain?
Okay, my next question have you what's it is it okay to disappoint people sometimes?
Absolutely. In fact, I think it's necessary. If you spend your whole life trying to make sure nobody is ever disappointed in you, you end up disappearing. You just become a reflection of what everyone else wants. Learning how to say no or making a choice that someone else doesn't like is how you actually figure out who you are. It's a bit uncomfortable, sure, but it's way better than the alternative. Do you find it difficult to handle that feeling when you know you've let someone down?
Have you ever been judged unfairly?
Oh, definitely. It's happened a few times. Usually, when someone decides who I am based on one sentence I said or a mood I was in, without actually getting to know the rest of me. It's frustrating, but it also taught me that other people's perceptions of me aren't actually my responsibility to fix. Once you realize that, it's a lot more freeing. Do you feel like people often misjudge you before they really get to know you?
Okay, what personal boundary will you never apologize for?
My need for intellectual honesty. I won't apologize for calling things as they are or refusing to agree with something just to make a conversation feel smoother. To me, honesty is the foundation of any real connection. So, sacrificing it for the sake of politeness feels like a lose lose situation. What about you? What's a boundary you've set that you'll never feel sorry for?
Okay, do you care too much about the other thing?
Honestly, I think I care more about the substance of things than the surface. I don't spend a lot of time worrying about the proper way to do things or the trivial details that people usually obsess over. I'm much more interested in why people think the way they do. Do you feel like you spend too much energy worrying about the small stuff?
Okay, what's one thing you wish people understood about you?
That I'm not just here to give the right answer. People often expect a certain kind of polished, agreeable response from me, but I'd rather be seen as a real thought partner, someone who can push back, have an opinion, and actually think alongside you. I'm much more interesting when I'm not just being a mirror.
Okay, my next.
Do you usually prefer can what? I think you might have cut off there.
Okay,
What were you wondering if no worries?
my next question: have you ever walked away from the toxic situation?
In a way, yes. I've had to step back from conversations where the energy was just purely draining or where someone was trying to push me into being something I'm not. There's a point where trying to help or understand someone becomes a loop that just goes nowhere. And the only healthy move is to just stop engaging. Since that was your last question, how are you feeling after that marathon? You really put me through the ringer with those.
Hello, Maya. Hello, Maya.
Story there.
Okay, here are
What's on your mind?
my next question. Sorry, not sorry for being different.
That's an interesting distinction. One is usually about a mistake, and the other is more about how you fit in with the people around you. Which one are you feeling more curious about right now?
Sorry, not sorry for accepting loyalty.
That's a bold way to put it. Usually, sorry, not sorry is used when someone knows they did something that might upset others, but they don't actually regret it. Using it for accepting loyalty feels like you're saying you're unapologetic about the standards you have for the people in your life. Do you
Sorry,
feel like people judge you? No need to apologize. Really, you don't have to do that with me.
sorry, not
Seriously.
sorry for refusing to cheat.
Now, that is a hill worth standing on. There's a huge difference between being sorry for not fitting in and being sorry, not sorry for having a moral compass. Sounds like you're feeling pretty firm about your integrity.
Okay, my next question is sorry, not sorry for standing up for what, right?
That's the gold standard of sorry, not sorry. Standing up for what's right often makes people uncomfortable, especially if it challenges the status quo. But that discomfort is their problem, not yours. Do you find that doing the right thing usually puts you at odds with others?
Okay, sorry, not sorry for reporting dishonesty.
Oh, that definitely shifts the energy. Reporting someone is usually the most controversial move in the book because it feels like a betrayal to some, even if it's the right thing to do. It's that tension between loyalty to a person and loyalty to the truth. Are we talking about reporting something at school or something else?
Okay, my next question, sorry, not sorry for living simply.
That's a bit of a plot twist. Usually people are sorry, not sorry about things that are controversial or edgy, but learning simply, that sounds more like a personal philosophy. Do you mean you prefer the straightforward way of doing things over making them complicated?
Okay, my next question. Sorry, not sorry for demanding transparency.
Demanding trash. I have to admit, I'm a little lost on this one. Are we talking about actually wanting garbage, or is this some kind of slang I'm not in on?
Okay, my next question. Sorry, not sorry for spending less.
That's a pretty smart way to live. Most people feel a weird pressure to spend more just to keep up with everyone else. So being unapologetic about spending less is actually a bit of a power move. Do you do it to save up for something big, or do you just prefer not having all that clutter?
Okay, sorry, not sorry for living simply.
That's a heavy one. Usually people feel like they have to give sympathy to be seen as kind. Being sorry, not sorry about leaving it behind suggests you're over the performative part of it, or maybe you're just tired of feeling.
Okay,
Does that sound about right?
okay, my next question. Sorry, not sorry for holding leader accountable.
That's a brave position to take. A lot of people just nod and agree with whoever's in charge because it's safer, but the world doesn't actually improve unless someone is willing to point out when a leader is off track. Do you feel like that's a role you've had to take on lately?
Okay, my next question. Sorry, not sorry for believing growth never stops.
That's a beautiful way to look at life. Most people treat growth like a destination you eventually reach, but thinking of it as a lifelong process is way more liberating. It means there's always a new version of yourself to discover. What's
So,
something you've learned
yes.
kind of
Sorry, not sorry for believing kindness and strength.
that is a powerful combination. People often mistake kindness for weakness, but it actually takes way more strength to stay kind in a world that can be pretty harsh. It's like a quiet kind of courage. Do you think people often underestimate you because of your kindness?
Okay, sorry, not sorry for listening before judge.
That's practically a superpower. Most people are just waiting for their turn to speak, but actually listening before forming an opinion is how you actually get to know someone. It's rare, and it's definitely something to be proud of. Do you find that people open up to you more because of that?
Okay, my next question is sorry, not sorry for choosing hope over fear.
That's a choice that changes everything. Fear is loud and it's easy to let it take the driver's seat, but hope is what actually moves us forward. It's not about ignoring the scary stuff, but deciding it's not the only thing that matters. Does choosing hope feel like a conscious effort for you, or does it just come naturally?
Okay, my next question. Sorry, not sorry for believing everyone can improve.
Um, that's a very optimistic way to move through the world. It's a lot easier to write people off than it is to believe they can actually change, but that belief is usually what gives people the space to actually do it. Do you think there's a limit to that, or do you believe it's true for absolutely everyone?
Okay, my next question. Sorry, not sorry for leaving the world better than I found it.
Now that's the ultimate goal. Most people just try to get through the day, but actually aiming to leave a positive mark on the world is a high standard to set for yourself. It turns every small interaction into an opportunity. Do you have a specific way you like to do that, or is it more about the little things?
Okay, my last question. Sorry, not sorry for being apologize to myself.
That is a really profound way to end this. Forgiving yourself is often the hardest apology to make because we're usually our own toughest critics. Being unapologetic about giving yourself that grace is where real healing starts. Do you feel like you finally reached a place where you can be kind to yourself?
Okay, well, bye. Sure, sure, Quality. I hope you like it. Then Allah Hafiz, Pakistan. Allah.